This video explains the process for finalizing your book and submitting it to your publisher. This should be the last step of your book creation process. Start by clicking the Finalize button on the navigation bar on the left. The first step to finalizing is the Final Checks wizard. This wizard will check your book for potential problems and display the results. These checkboxes list all of the things that the Final Checks wizard will check for. It's best to leave everything checked and click on the Run Final Checks button. If your book passes all of the checks in the Final Checks wizard, you will be presented with this success message, and you can move on to the next step by clicking the Continue button. If your book does not pass all of the checks, you will instead see a series of red or yellow X's indicating potential problems or warnings. Click on Error Report to view a report of the problems. A report of your issues is displayed here. You can read through them here or click Review Problems to generate a PDF of the report. If there are any issues that need to be addressed, go back into your book and do so, then return to the Finalize area and run the Final Checks wizard again. If the warnings listed here are minor and you don't need to address them before printing, click on the Next button. This is the roster export screen. Most of the roster setup is done with these three list screens. The Available Categories list contains any categories that are in your book, but are not currently in the roster. If you see anything in this list that you want in your roster, move it to the Selected Categories list using these Add buttons. The Selected Categories list contains all of the categories that you are currently using in your roster. If there are any fields in here that you do not want to use, move them to the Available Categories list using these Remove buttons. The Preview window displays your current roster setup. If you see any information in the wrong place, move it up or down in the Selected Categories list by using these buttons. We are now ready to export the roster. There are two ways that this can be done. The most common method is to export the roster as a PDF. Use these controls to determine the number of columns and font settings for your roster, then click the PDF roster button to generate the PDF. If you want to get fancier with your roster, you can export the information into a text file and import it into your own text editing software. To export the roster as a text file, click the Export Roster button. Once you are satisfied with your roster, click Next to continue. This screen allows you to print a cover sheet to submit with your book. The cover sheet is used to point out any issues or concerns with your book to your publisher. Click the Print Cover Sheet button to print the cover sheet, fill it out, and then submit it. The cover sheet includes the name of your book, includes a place where you can specify any Final Checks wizard errors that were ignored, and allows you to indicate that you have visually inspected all of the PDF pages to ensure that they are ready for printing. Click Next to continue. The next step is to create a PDF of your book so that you can visually inspect each page and ensure that they are ready for print. The PDF should be a perfect snapshot of your printed book, so this is your last chance to double check the pages. If your publisher wants you to submit a PDF file, this will be the last step of the Final Checks wizard. Click on PDF Files for printing, and if your publisher requests that you submit a PDF file, be sure to choose one of the high-resolution options in the PDF window. Remember that these high-resolution options will generate a high-resolution PDF in a password-protected zip file. If your publisher requests that you submit a PDF, this zip file is what they are looking for. Click Next to continue on the last step in finalizing. If your Next button is grayed out or missing, then your publisher wants the zipped PDF that you just generated and you are done. The last step in the Finalize area is to create a package to send to your publisher. A package is a zip file that contains your pages and all the images that were used in your book. If you have any comments that you would like your publisher to review before processing your book, type them into this comment field. To create the package, click on the Package Files button and a zip file will be created. This is the file that you will need to submit to your publisher. Congratulations, you're finished.